Canada. Mr. Alexander Ross. Alexander Milton Ross, a naturalist and physician, was born on December 13, 1832, at Belleville, Upper Canada, and died in Detroit, Michigan on October 27, 1897. In undertaking this mission to help the slaves to freedom, I did not disguise from myself the dangers I would most certainly have to encounter, and the certainty that a speedy and perhaps cruel death would be my lot in case my plans and purposes were discovered. An outspoken abolitionist was Alexander Milton Ross. In 1855, when he was 23, he decided upon an active career of running fugitives from the Deep South to Canada. Ross made at least 5 trips to the southern states, posing as a bird watcher, and in 5 years he was instrumental to the escape of 31 or more blacks. John Greenleaf Whittier dedicated one of his poems to Ross. There died in the city of Detroit on October 27, 1897, a man whose services in the abolition movement and during the Civil War were of so self-sacrificing and daring a character they gained for him the tributes not only of the abolition leaders but of Lincoln himself. Alexander Milton Ross, M.D., Canadian by birth, had a career that deserves to be better known. Wendell Phillips declared, "No higher heroism, courage, or tenacity of purpose was ever displayed than by you in your chivalric efforts to help the slaves to freedom." He was a distinguished ornithologist cited by European governments and learned societies for original and painstaking work on birds of North America. His Canadian accent made him supposedly a neutral in internal affairs of the U.S., and letters of introduction established him as a naturalist of international standing. Wandering through fields and woods in the South, he had a rare opportunity to talk to slaves, to provide them with a little money and information on how to travel and where to stop. And Mr. Levi Coffin. Levi Coffin, a businessman, Quaker leader, and abolitionist, was born in 1798 in New Garden, North Carolina, and died in Cincinnati, Ohio in 1877. I am opposed to the whole system of slavery and conscientiously believe it to be a sin against God and a crime against man to channelize a human being and reduce God's image to the level of a brute, to be bought and sold in the market as cattle or swine. Levi Coffin, by his devotion to the cause of the fugitive from boyhood to old age, gained the title of the President of the Underground Railroad. But he was not at the head of a formal organization. In truth, the work was everywhere spontaneous. Unfaltering confidence among members of neighboring stations served better than a code of rules. Decision and sagacity of the individual was required rather than the less rapid efforts of an organization. He and his wife aided more than 3,000 slaves in flight. For 33 years, he and his wife Catherine received into their home in Newport, Indiana, and Cincinnati, Ohio, more than 100 slaves every year.